Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. Y'all, I realized that for a while on the show, I had been talking very, very dull. Like when I would go listen to the episodes, I'd be like, why am I sounding so dull? Like, girl, what's wrong? And I guess it was just maybe circumstances, how life was working at the moment. I don't know, but it was bothering me. So I wanted to come back. I pulled out the microphone, y'all. Oh, reliable. Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it oh, reliable. It's just the one that I had, right? My little first professional microphone. Because I was deciding to take the podcast serious, y'all. Like, this is serious to me. And when I went back and listened, I was like, I gotta get back serious. Gotta get back to me. Because all that sitting around, woe is me, pobrecita mentality, like, no, it gotta go. But, yeah, got the microphone out today. I hope I'm sounding a little better, more cheerful, okay? Because as much as I want to say life is always cheerful, life is always good, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it ain't. Like, it's just not. And what I've learned is you gotta take the good with the bad, and you just gotta be true to yourself. Like, what's gonna make you happy in this moment? Not anybody else. What's gonna make you a better person, right? So, me, if I'm taking what I'm doing here seriously, which is laying down the foundations of my life, letting people hear how much I love God, right? How much this walk with Him means with me, and just documenting the journey, really. Because life isn't all fun and games. But it can be. It really can be. But yeah, so today is December the 17th, 2023. And that means the year's coming to an end. And as much as I want to say 2023 was a bad year, it wasn't. Not for me, now that I'm looking back at it. Because, yeah, I may have felt, in my lowest of lows. But out of those lowest of lows, I kind of made myself a little productive. Right? And in one of those, in the lowest of the lows, two things I did that mean a lot to me was, one, I wrote a book. Two, I decided to take my podcast seriously. And starting with the book. So I actually saw my first copy of the book recently. Because at the time I was too, scarce with my money to order myself my own copy of my own book. Because in my mind, I was just thinking that it was just going to sell and sell and sell. When nobody really knew me, okay? I wasn't popping. I wasn't that girl. But I actually took the time to write a book. Thought that it was going to be bigger. I thought it was going to be a lot bigger than what it was. But it's very small. Very cute. It's like a little instruction manual. You can fit it in your purse. And when I saw my name, Big Lex, I was just like, wow. Wow. I started something, right? And also, during that low time in my life, right? That's when I decided to go by the name Big Lex. Because my name is Muriel Alexis Johnson. And in school, they call me Muriel. Even though I used to want to go by Alexis, but there were always other Alexises. And it would just make everything much more difficult. So I would just go by Muriel to, not be difficult. And so in school, work or whatever, I was Muriel. But my mom told everybody else that my name was Alexis or Lex or Lexi or just Lexis. So at that low point in my life, I was having a identity crisis, really. So I was like, am I Muriel or am I Lex? Like, which one is it? And for one, okay, Snapchat first came out. You could change your handle a lot. So one day, me and my friend, we were changing our handles. And backtrack a little bit more. I used to sit and think about being famous. That's something I used to do. I used to practice being interviewed. Because I just felt like my life was so interesting. And so I came up with my stage name because I figured that if I was going to be famous, I needed a stage name or I could go by my real name. And I don't like my first name, Muriel, because it gets pronounced so much. And I'm too polite to correct most of the time. Like, unless you just butcher it, then I'm not going to just correct you every time you mispronounce my name. Like, just do what you want to do. If I answer, I answer. If I don't, I don't. I know what my name is. You know what I'm saying? But I never really liked Muriel. So I was always called Lex. I was like, there's a lot of Lexes, like Lex, in the world. So I decided to put an extra X. Make it Lex with 2 X's. So when me and my friend, we were trying to, get our little cool Snapchat handles, I thought of what goes good with Lex, 2 X's. And I was like, I think we'd heard the song that day. And I was like, ooh, I want to Lex you up. And I was maybe 14, 15 when I made that name up. And I made that handle up, right? And then I was like, ooh, I might have ate with that one. I might have just ate. So I made it all of my social media handles at some point. And so, as I was having this identity crisis, I'm like, am I Muriel or am I Lex? Or my Lex with two X's? And I was like, well, let's dive deep. So, Lex with two X's, that's a stage name. But I don't want to just be Lex. And also, there used to be this video, and it was like, go be a Lexi, go be a Lexi. So I was like, big Lex. Because I'm not the little one. Even though and I was like, well, I'm 5'2", so I mean, I'm kind of little, whether I like it or not. But big Lex, you'd be expecting somebody big. And then my little self come up there and be like, hey, hi, how are you? How are you today? I was like, that's so cute. It's mine now. So I made it mine. That's where Big Legs came from. So I decided on Big Legs. And I was like, well, what's Big Legs gonna do? Who is she? Like, is she a singer? Is she a podcaster? What is she? Right? So I had to figure those things out. And as I was figuring out who Big Legs is, right, I also had to figure out who I am as a person, separate from that. And I realized that sorry for the long pause, I froze. But no, I realized that me as a person, I'm awkward, for one. And I had to learn to not be as awkward anymore. That only comes with experience. So as life, the days went on, life kept going, I had to practice not being as awkward as I used to be. Because I'm like, well, it doesn't make sense for me to be who I used to be or be a combination of the two identities that I had, two names, because they're just different names. I was still the same person. I was like, no, I need to focus on who do I want to be in this present time and going forward. What kind of woman do I want to be? So if I used to be awkward, I don't want to be awkward going forward. So I had to work on that. What made me awkward? Why would I just get so tense? And it'd be, times when I'm just uncomfortable. Or if I don't know anybody. And I realized that I was like that just going to the gas station, the corner store, Dollar General, Walmart, I was just awkward. So I had to learn to be more friendly. And, working as a cashier, it was my job to be friendly. It was my job to provide customer service. But apparently I was being a little too friendly. And it was not really affecting too much of my job. It was just that it was noticeable that to me and others that guys would stop and talk to me for a long period of time when there's a job to be done. And it's not that I would be flirting or like, oh, you look nice or whatever. It's just, hi, how are you today? How was your day today? And people just answer and I'd be like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know. I don't think I was flirting. I gave out most of my compliments to women Because I love telling a woman she's pretty. Like, it just, I don't know, I'm not used to it. Because I would see a pretty girl and be like, oh, I wish I was pretty like that. But to be able to tell a woman, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. And that just be that. Like, now you know that I think you're pretty. So when you see me staring at you, it's because you're pretty. And I'm an admirer. I love it. I'm a fan of it. Like, teach me your ways, please. But I also think I'm pretty. And so it helps to think, oh, if I think I'm pretty and I used to not, maybe she doesn't think she's pretty. So let me just tell her real quick, hey, you're pretty. You are so pretty. And I know from experience, like, somebody will tell you that, and even for that little split second, you will believe it. Like, oh my gosh, I'm pretty. She thinks I'm pretty. I might just be pretty. But then that doubt creeps in. Like, it creeps in. It's just like, no, you're not. But even for that split second, that feeling, I know what that feels like. When you look in the mirror in the morning and you don't like what you see and somebody tells you, oh, you're pretty, it's like you don't believe it sometimes. But now that I've established within me, I am pretty. I am the one and not the two. It's giving 100 out of 10. Would recommend, right? So I just love doing that. And like I was saying, I was giving compliments out to women. And I don't know why the guys would just stop and talk to me for a long period of time. My therapist said that because I was fresh meat in the area, maybe. No one knew me. And then everybody wanted to get to know me, apparently. But as I was just communicating with different people every day, I was learning that, oh, I'm just being me, right? At first it was like a switch. I went from being all just in my own world to, hi, how are you? What can I get for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, all just friendly and hospitable. But when it came for me to go to the store or whatever, I just learned to just take that with me because it's Sammy. I'm friendly. It's established. And I also realized that people would just stop and talk to me sometimes. And I would have the craziest encounters. But I was like, let me just say hey to somebody. Smile. Do more than smile, because I smiled. But I needed to do more than just smile. Let me say hey, how are you? And it goes a long way. It really does. And so, as I was just realizing that the person that I want to be, the woman that I want to be more friendly. I want to be more open-minded. I want to be more sincere. I want to be a better friend, a better daughter, a better family member, a better podcaster. So those are the things that I've learned this year and that I'm taking with me. Right? So back to the things I've done this year. So yeah, that book came out of me realizing that I could do this. We'll see where it goes. But I was also just so brokenhearted and so distraught that the fact that I sat there and wrote a book is still a shock to me. And yeah, the podcast. I redid the format of the podcast because it used to be Get Your Shit Together with Muriel. Now it's Life of Flex. And I can do whatever I want. And I think I need to go change it from explicit to normal. Because for one, I don't cuss as much as I used to. And I'm not just being an explicit person. I'm just being open. And I can say a couple cuss words every now and then. But when I listen to old episodes, I'm like, where was my vocabulary? Where'd that go? I don't know. But yeah, I want to be a better speaker, a better interviewer, a better talker in general. I want to be a better singer. Even though I feel like I sing amazing, I want to be better. I want to shine brighter. I want to write another book. Maybe another podcast. Somebody call Cheekies and tell her to come on the podcast. Y'all gonna be, I don't know. But I just feel like when you feel a nudge to do something and it's just on your mind and just hounding you to do it, you do it. If it's a good thing, if it's not harming anybody, if there's a plan behind it, it's well thought out at that point, just do it. And whatever comes will come. But just be grateful that you got the urge to do something different, right? Because I'm grateful for the urge to do something different. I'm grateful for a lot of things this year, right? Because those two things came out of a low place in my life. And then a little time went on, opportunities started coming in. Things started getting in the way of those opportunities. I had to fight back harder. I had to be smarter. Work a little harder to get something out of it. Because, for one, TMZ, I don't know how they found me. And they just asked me to comment. They sent me topics. Pick a topic. Well, make me pick 3. And then they'll give me the topic I'm supposed to comment about. It's usually something I know absolutely nothing about. Right? Most of it, I know absolutely nothing. I go look at what they say. Go do a little bit more research. And then I give my opinion. But my opinion is never just a summary of facts. That's what they do most of the time. My job is to opinionate, to comment. I don't think opinionate is a word. But, yeah, to comment and share my feelings. I don't know. And I do my best. Sometimes I freeze. But as I go through and listen to my comments, I'm usually just wanting the best out of the situation. I want them to figure out this issue. Because I've talked about Britney Spears a couple times now on TMT, and I love me some Britney. Let me say that. I love me some Britney. And it's not my place to have an opinion about her life or her family's life. Right? The less I know, the better. In any given case. But when it's my time to comment, I just say what I feel, what I like about the situation, what I don't like. But it's never, or I try not to be derogatory, like talking bad about people, gossiping, kind of. I think we all need to figure out what's considered gossip and what's considered talking bad. What's the difference between being chismosa and hablando mal? Well, we've been talking for a little minute. And I just wanted to say I appreciate everybody that listens to the show. Show me some love. I'm going to show y'all some love. I gotta figure out, what do y'all want? How would you like for me to show you some love? Let's start there. Because I can't just say, oh, I'm going to do giveaways or I'm going to do raffles or whatever. Like, what do y'all want? What y'all want for Christmas? And we're talking about Christmas for 2024. Because this one, not sure about that. But, yeah. Let's talk. I don't know. Let's parlay a little bit. Anyways. Love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all. And please, don't go fucking on nobody's day because we're trying to have a good time, not a hard time. Oh, and the woman that I want to be and for the rest of 2023 and for all of 2024 is a woman who's standing on business. Okay? And what's that business? That business is Jesus. Alright? And what's his business? He's going to be about his Father's business. Alright? And who's the Father? Is God. So Jesus is the Son. God is the Father. So I'm going to be about Jesus' business. He's going to be about his Father's business. And we all just going to be in each other's business. That's the only business I'm trying to be in. Okay? That's the only business I'm working on with me and Jesus and me and God. What we got, all three of us, that's it. Because I owe every single breath I take to God. And I owe every single chance to have another day, have another moment, have a chance to cry, have a chance to laugh, have a chance to just be numb. I owe it all to God, because what else am I supposed to do? Same thing you doing? Same thing the person that you don't like is doing? No. I'm supposed to be doing what? I'm supposed to be minding Jesus' business. And like I said, he's minding his Father's business. So we all go together real bad. So, yeah. That's the kind of woman I am. If you didn't know, now you know. Anyways, don't go fucking up nobody's day, y'all. Bye.